Bless up, Tina Marie. Grand Rising, man. Grand Rising to you. I hope you have a great day. But I'm going to talk about something that everybody deals with every day. And this is one of the reasons, there's many reasons why I started this page, but I tell a lot of my close family members and people that's close to me in this world. Like, this is one of the reasons why I started this page because I see that we live in a hurt world, and many people, don't matter how you want to twist and turn it, don't matter how you want to look at certain situations in the world, many humans in the world are hurt. And if we could take it deeper, many souls in this world are hurt and crushed. And this is why I always tell people, me and you could look at a paper, but I'm going to always look at that paper different. Because you may just look at it as a paper, but I'm going to look at that paper and see where we could build off of that paper, where we could draw off of that paper, where we could live off of that paper. When you look at things simple, many other people don't look at things so simple. When you may look at something difficult, many people don't look at something difficult as you look at it as. Now, I always say I watch the world hurt. And sometimes, and many times, a lot of people, they are confused when they hear me say that. And a lot of people, they shun it away and they don't even want to hear me say that. And they don't even want to hear many people say that. This is why when you look at us as human beings on this planet, I always say this. We don't have solutions, but we have so much problems. And the people that do have solution, the people that do have solutions, the norm and regular society throw them in the back, throw them under the table, laugh at them. And I always think about it, like I always say, like, people, you think that being uneducated is cool and being educated is uncool. Well, I'm sorry to say, and I'm not sorry to say, you could play around all you want, and you can play around for a while and thinking that everything is funny, and you thinking that what you do has no consequences. Hold on, please. Okay, sorry about that. Now, and it's not even watching the world in a different way, but it's like when you feel the soul of the world and you feel the soul of different people, you can see the love, you can see the hurt. And always tell people it's not something good. It's not nothing good because When you see the pain inside of somebody, it's an ugly thing. It's just like when we say hate and love is two strong words, but they usually say that hate is strong. But people always put hate in front of love, and they never. Yeah, we know that both of them are two strong energies, but you see that people use the word hate more, of giving it more power than love. But love would always be more powerful than hate. And this is why I always say the world is troubled. Hold on. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, and this is why when they say the little thing that we always hear, sticks and stones could break your bones, but words could never hurt. That was a nice that was a nice little fairy tale and a nice little saying, but I'm gonna be one of many to keep on saying words do hurt humans. Cause people that made stuff like that up, right? Sticks and stones could break my bones, but words could never hurt me. It's a nice little model chair for humans to go by, right? But it's not real in reality. Because we done seen many words hurt people. We done seen many words uplift people. We done seen many words make people shift with different emotions. We done seen words take people from their lowest to their highest. We done seen words take people from their highest to their lowest. And in between all of those, we done seen energy. You know, and I always say people get mad when I say this, but I'm going to keep on saying it. When it comes to religion and spirituality or even any energy in this world, the world has been lied to. So when you see what we call bad stuff or negative stuff, a lot of people in the world, they don't got no backstory to it. The only thing they have is what they see right there in front and what everybody tells them. You know, and when you get what people tell you without doing your own research or doing your own studying, I'm not saying that it's bad, but you're an individual. You're supposed to be able to take something in, process it, and then after that, make sure you do your own research and your own studying and detailing or however. But just don't take something in what somebody tell you and thinking that that's everything. Thinking that that's the way it is or thinking that's facts. Now, when you talk to yourself or when you try to make yourself feel a certain way, you got the power, you know, and some people will probably say, what do you mean by you got the power? The same way of the words, whether they're negative or positive, you got to make sure And this can't be sometimes. This got to be all the time. It got to be straight tunnel vision. Got to make sure you shine brighter than bright through the darkest nights. Don't matter what. And even in the day, you make sure you shine. You know the thing that we hear of people saying lead by example? Well, keep on shining and leading by example. Because I'm going to keep on saying it until I see better in the world. Yes, we have good people that do good deeds in the world. But you know what? We have evil people preying on people's weak mentality. And them same so-called evil people, and the reason why I call them so-called evil people, because the people that you call evil or bad or gangster or whatever, you have to understand those are some of the softest people in the world. And I don't like to use him as an example, but I will use Donald Trump as an example. Hold on 1 minute, please. Okay, excuse me for that. Now, like I was saying, like a person like Donald Trump, I can't take him serious, and many people can't take him serious, and no hate, but real is real. And this what's wrong with the world nowadays, where it ain't nothing about evil or good, okay? And this is where humans, I always say, need to get their emotions out of their chest and deal with logic. But human beings on earth don't like to deal with logic, because everything is a game. And they're not serious. You know, because if human beings on earth was real serious, we wouldn't have the nastiness that we have on earth. But the greed that human beings got in their minds it ain't doing no good for none of us, because they solely think that when you have money and materialistic things that you are higher in life. And I always question everybody. I don't care who you is. And spiritual world questions them too. How do you think that you are higher than human beings just because you own materialistic things? How do you think that you are better than people with materialistic objects? And I know it may sound simple, it may sound corny, but that's how foolish human beings think. And I would always call them foolish human beings, because people would use stuff like cars, money, jewelry, and what the greed of people, for example, people robbing people and killing people for money and for jewelry and for different things. See, as I always said, right, it don't matter what God you believe in or what superior being you believe in, you have to understand the majority of the world is living in a falsehood. Okay? What we see on our TVs and what we see on our computers and our cell phones every single day, some people don't want to admit it, but it's not about if you want to admit it or not. It's all fake. Okay? Because, and this is where I always tell people, like, you take their fake God out of it. And the reason why I say you take their fake God out of it, because the Most High ain't got nothing to do with none of these human beings and their materialistic things of putting themselves on a pedestal over other humans and then using the Most High, or God as they will say, and saying they're blessed. Blessed with what? With what? Blessed how? Blessed where? You know, like, this is why I say I'm not with talking about one religion. No. And it ain't even about really talking about the religion. It's about opening the souls. It's about opening them portals. It's about opening them gates to real reality in this universe. Like, I didn't come here in this universe to play with, like they say, earthlings. Okay? I didn't. And earthlings will always be earthlings. Because one of the major things earthlings like to always say, and they like to put you in their box. Oh, what are you? You're not human? Well, I say this. I'm not you. Okay? I'm not you, because some human beings, right, always want to put you in their box. No. You are you and I am me. Okay? We're not equal. And humans have to stop with this we're equal thing. No, we're not. All humans, yes, you are human beings, male and female. But stop thinking that we all are equal. Everybody carry individual traits in this world. Yes, people want to be nice and say good things of saying we're all equal, but how could we all be equal when you see how we use each other for materialistic things, but we're all equal in soul? Yes, you got one, but we're not all equal of how we're using each other and doing malicious things to each other. So, stop for a while and listen for a minute. Because if the real people would shine, this world would be better. If the real people would actually be wise, this world would be better. And we wouldn't have people crying every day. We wouldn't have people going through trauma every day. Hold on, please. Yeah. So, and a lot of people like to get in their emotions when you hear religion being brought up, but always say to the people that like to get in their emotions about religion being brought up, do you like the truth or do you like a lie? Or are you just comfortable with what your family and people that you grew up with told you? And this is where I get to the point where I say that, yes, it's okay to get things from family members and close friends, but you got that from them, right? And it's okay. But what did you get from yourself? And what did you get for yourself? Because you know the old saying, whether you want to call it a horse or a cow or a donkey, you could take them to the water, but it's for you to drink. Now, it don't matter how much I drag you to the water. I could probably even throw you in the water. But that don't mean that you have to drink the water. And that some people may drink the water you get thrown in. Some people may not. Some people may hold their breath. Some people may just go, you know, but life is lovely. But I just say that humans make the difficult parts for other humans because Sometimes humans wouldn't even think that they make the trees cry. They make the ocean cry. They make the mountains shiver. Humans don't see the badness that they do to the earth and even the universe, but you call it living. You call it so-called evolving. From what? Because if we can't get better in human relationships and be for real, we're not accomplishing anything on earth. Because we're just going in the same old cycle. And the cycle that we're going in is a cycle of hate, a cycle of death, a cycle of lies. And it keeps on going on. It keeps on going on. And you keep on breathing a fake life. You think I care to keep on calling their stuff fake? No, I don't care, but they do. Because they don't want the glass to shatter. But the glass will shatter. And it has to shatter because many people are going through hurt and pain. And a lot of people just don't want to understand certain things in this world. I'll give you a little example of what I mean. You could take the different wars that happen and some people get caught up in their emotions. But your emotions don't matter in real reality. Your emotions, yes, you may do something, but your emotions may get you in trouble. And when I say trouble, I'm not talking about no law enforcement. Because when I say trouble in this world, I'm talking on the spiritual side of you fighting yourself, okay? Because y'all have to really understand, there's bigger law in this universe than human beings, okay? Law enforcement was made by humans, okay? So when I hear, you gotta be real, you know, like when I hear people put so much parade on these certain names, I don't look for it as anything because I don't pity them. Because the human being is so corrupted, right? That they will lie and lie to look good. And that's not going to get the human race nowhere. And that's what's been happening on Earth. No matter how many years you really want to think that human civilization been existent of what they told you. See, the arguments that humans make, right? That's your arguments. But real reality is real reality. And this is why I always say, there's never no two sides of a story. There's only one side, and that's the truth, and that's living. Okay? Like, I'm not with the miracles of what they believe and what they say. Because you can say a whole bunch of nonsense, you know? But when it comes to realness in this universe, nah, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to be a part of that. And you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Because you have to look at the people that live in a false life, and even those people that don't say nothing, and those people that watches the false life and let it go. I remember when I was a young teenager, a lot of things that I would debate people about and talk to people about of different things around the world. And I remember I had a fire inside my gut because I didn't want to let certain things rest, and I didn't. But when you look at nowadays of how things are moving right now, simple, right? But it's a sad world, and could be better. But you know what? A lot of people need to be more brave. Because if people don't be brave, the only thing going to happen is evil souls are going to keep on living and keep on watching this world go how it goes. You may never know what tomorrow may hold, but you could draw a map. And you can walk into tomorrow, living into today. You got the strength and you got the power to do what you must do. Bless up, brother. Bless up, man. God bless, my brother. You got the power and strength to do what you got to do. This is why the old guards, or the human beings that think they're the old guards, the ice is melting and the glasses are shattering and the ceiling is closing in. For too long, I done seen people hurt. Too long. And the thing is, how we say it's a hard pill to swallow. Well, you know what? In this life that we living in, I say spit that shit out your mouth. Okay? We ain't swallowing nothing. We ain't taking nothing. Because I always say, man, they may look at this different and people could quarrel with it, but if I'm coming in and I got soul, don't ever think. Hold on 1 minute, please. Okay. Can't see tomorrow if you don't live for today, and tomorrow isn't promised, and neither is the day we live in. Yes, sir. People don't care how much others know until they know how much others. People don't care how much others know until they know how much those people care. I say a lot of times too, man, people just don't. It's simple, but it's not simple. And the crazy thing is, the simplest things are the biggest things, you know? And always say, man, like, humans humans are unappreciative. You know, I watch people complain about simple things. And they don't know how foolish they are for. And this is why I always say that I stand heavy alone, you know, because like you can look at the Democrats and Republicans as a party. Well, when it comes to this world, I can't stand with no parties and all people, because when you just you hear and see how some people live, that ain't you. And that could never be you. When I watch some people get on YouTube and talk about other people, some people will say, why do you judge people? I ain't judging nobody. It is what it is. I'm saying what I'm saying. I ain't no judge. I ain't in no courtroom. I ain't banging no gavel. You know, like, this the thing, like, and this the thing that people gotta real, like, hold on. Yeah, stop caring what people think about you. Stop caring what people say about you. Long as they don't cross that line, it's all good. You know, because I watch people come on this YouTube, and one thing I learned with myself of coming on this YouTube, I'm going to be totally honest, and I keep on telling myself this every time I come on YouTube. You know, I have to keep on making sure I tell myself this, you know? Leave myself a mental note. And many people might, let me see, might feel a way about this, but I don't care. When I watch people disrespect each other on this YouTube, and they're supposed to be, the reason why I like to say so-called a lot, I don't care what you call yourself, or I don't care what you think you are. I'm not with the fictitious stuff in life. Okay? I like forget what you call yourself. I want to see who you are. Okay? I don't like For real. I don't care who you are. Live who you are. Okay? Don't talk it. So when I watch people disrespect each other, you let me know who you are. And you letting the world know who you are too. Because a lot of people, you got to watch it be two people sometimes, it be a whole bunch of people sometimes. And then it's the crowd, the spectators, the people that's watching both of y'all tear each other down. And then it grows into different people hating each other. Now, humans in this world, I always say, they don't know what life is. So getting on the internet, YouTube, and disrespecting another female or male, they don't care. That's something good, because a lot of human beings, and people that come on YouTube, disrespecting another human being and watching other people hype you up, they think that's something good. They think that's life. But I'll say this. In the world that most people know, in the reality of it, I don't care how big you think you is. When you act like that, people that are very highly intelligent and people that think different, they look at you as trash. Because that's what you are, trash. You ain't nothing more than trash, rubbish, basura. Like, you think that you are somebody because you get on the internet every day and you talking about somebody. And let me show you how simple the world is. Simple humans. And this is why, as I say, man, I don't play with simple humans. Like, if you can't talk on my level or even have something to teach me, it's not worth me really. What am I listening to you for? Because it's just like my cable or my TV. Like, you think I'm going to watch something that I don't like? Nah. I ain't like, inside joke with me and my brother. Like, I ain't wasting that, I ain't wasting that on my eyesight, and like, it's an inside joke between me and my brother that we had for years, but it's real. I'm not wasting my eyesight on that, okay? I'm not wasting my eyesight on that. And some people, like, let me tell you something, I don't care who you are, but I'm speaking to all humans on earth, every living human being on earth. This internet done got people heads screwed up. This YouTube, this getting likes, views, subscribers. Like, I don't care who you are, because they telling people that you hating on somebody because you put in correction. Nah, man. Let me tell you something. They got people in this world that look for correction. And they don't play with nonsense. So people that could do foolish things or play foolish games. Nah, man. Nah. It's going to catch up to you. And you will hurt yourself. Because there's a lot of simple-minded people in this world. And there's a lot of people in this world that are, what we say, fire and ice, left and right. People are going at each other every day. But I ask myself, because I ain't going to ask people on this internet, because you ain't going to get an educated answer, or you ain't going to get a proper answer. Because people, I don't play with the nonsense of people giving you basic answers to the basic situations that they put themselves through. You think that many people will actually look to solve the nonsense that goes on with people thinking that they bad getting on the internet talking about somebody? Let me tell you something. I done seen people talk about pull up, but they arguing every day. But for sensible people, you already know what that is. But for everybody else around, the crowd is just watching y'all two tear each other down. And then too, to be honest with you, as I say, when I watch a lot of this on the internet, I don't care who you is. But when I watch a lot of black men and women on the internet and everybody else as well, it's awful. Because it's just negative energy spreading around. But then you're calling this life. You calling this getting lit. You calling this views. You calling this subscribers. You calling this attention. You calling this life? You think it's actually life when you will actually crawl into death and you actually making more people come into death? Because the shit is that people don't want to tell the truth. And the thing is, you see how much of a comedy show these people are. Because I draw it down to 3 things, even though I could draw it down to more things. But I'm going to just draw it down to 3 things of when you see people go back and forth on the internet. Now, it's a comedy show. Okay? That's number 1. And they don't know better, okay? Number 2, people solely think that, yes, the more negative attention we give each other is the more that people are going to watch, and we're going to have everybody watching us, and we're going to keep on upping the ante. And number 3, somebody could be playing and the other person is not playing, and whether you like it or not, I'm going to say this. It's going to be a lot of deaths. Okay? And people are going to get hurt. Okay? Because some people are saying that this is games and this is playing. As I said in the beginning, you maybe want to say stuff is games and sticks and stones could break bones, but words could never hurt, right? Well, I'm going to say this, man. There's a lot of words that start, right? But it's caskets that finish, okay? I'm going to say it again. There's a lot of words that start, but it's caskets that finish. What do you mean by that, Delvin? Well, a lot of people, they start off with arguments, right? But where do the people end up? In the casket at the end of the day. Okay? And it's not a pretty sight of human beings dying over human beings not knowing how to communicate. And it's not about the education. This is the joint where I remember yesterday, me and my aunt was talking about, I would say 4 years. 1773. In what y'all call the United States of America. 1776. in what y'all call the United States of America. 1865, in what y'all call the United States of America. The evil hand that keeps on twisting and keep on turning doesn't want you to understand your history and history. And this is why I say that when it comes to a lot of history, I don't talk to many people. I don't talk to foolish people, because the history that you have out here now, you think that I care about your emotions when I say it's a lie? It's a lie, okay? And if you want to get in your emotion, that's okay. That's you. But you can keep your emotions in your little chest, okay? And this is why I say when people want to talk about two sides of a story, no. Because you would want black people in America to be so happy with the 4th of July, right? But as me being a human being in this universe and knowing my culture and my people history, not in America only, you cannot feed me nonsense and tell me to be happy with 1776, July 4th. When 1776, July 4th, my people were still maids, slaves, crop pickers, and many other things. So if you think that's a freaking joke, or if you think that's a freaking thing for a view or a like, ain't none of that shit going. Okay? Because our people history in America, in this world, it ain't for views, likes, or money. That shit ain't a game. But you little coward humans, and when I say coward humans, I'm talking every single type of coward human. I don't gotta use a color. I'm talking every type. Because when it came to hiding melanated people history, it wasn't only Caucasian people that did it. They gathered everybody. So when you see a thing of what they call black on black crime is part of the situation. When you see brothers and sisters in Brazil, and brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico, and brothers and sisters in Dominican Republic and Haiti not being treated fairly because of their color, that's not because of no reason. So when you see the big situation of black men and black women, or what you want to call brown or melanated people in America, when you see the fire in our eyes, when you see the fire in our gut, do you freaking understand the pain our people went through? Do you understand the pain of a black man having to fight twice as hard to be in the U.S. military? I'm fighting twice as hard to be in your military. But when I come back home to America, I'm treated as shit. Do you think that that's fair? No, it ain't about being fair, because let me tell you this. They're not living on fair and unfair. They're not thinking logical. Okay? Excuse me for a minute, man. Excuse me. This shit ain't a game at all, man. For y'all people that really think this shit is a game, I could care less for y'all. And for y'all, like, because people that talk about racism, this is bigger than racism. This is bigger than a color. But y'all want to play a game. So you think, and this is bigger than me looking at black men in America, black men in Africa, black men in the Caribbean islands, and the same thing for our females as well. It ain't a game. And you could, I hear nowadays, right? You hear, why you think they could come up with something stupid of a statement of saying, go back to your country? Well, I always like to hear that. And you know why I like to hear that? I used to say, when they say that, we could tell them go back to the mountains, you know? And I used to say, like, yeah, I used to tell a lot of them that, go back to the mountains. Because if you're telling any black person to go back to their country, the last time I checked, right, just because some of our people was miseducated on certain things, we don't have no country to go back. Earth is ours. Okay? Earth is ours. So you could play the word semantics. You could play the word games of calling him an African American, her a Caribbean, her a Puerto Rican, him a... You could play all of those games. But the true and living is the true and living. And that's not a freaking game. And it could never be no game. There's no compromising with that. But y'all want to still play the game. Y'all want to still play the game. This is why I tell you, I don't care for their riches. Their riches can't override the universe. But you want to call yourself a basic man and a basic woman. As I say, and as I'm going to keep on saying it, man, I don't care how people want to twist it and turn it, but the teachers ain't going to learn. The teachers ain't going to learn from the students, okay? The teachers ain't going to learn from the students. And you could play different games and say, oh my gosh, the students could teach the teacher too. Well, not in this part. Not in this part. You know? Not in this part. Not in this part. It ain't no teaching. Because the only teaching they did was heavy reaching. Okay? Heavy reaching. And that's why they went to NASA to get their stuff, to go and search. Search out there into the space of what they call space. But don't matter how much NASA do they little searching and they researching and all of their stuff, they will never find what they think they supposed to find. And I'm gonna say this to you, melanated people. You're smarter than you could ever think. And you ain't unlocked that code yet. Because yes, melanated people did many great things on this planet we call Earth. But let me say this. We could do much more greater things. Okay, like, if you want to use something as a comparison of saying moving mountains, we could do that. Don't make the distractions destroy us. Because that's what it's doing. All of these distractions that's going on, you may not think that it's destroying you because what they say, the fast life. Come on, y'all know how it is. You're going so fast, but where are you going? And then you're going so fast, but you go nowhere. Stop and listen to the universe. Listen to yourself. Listen to the people around you. Because it's okay to speak. But like Princess always told me, and my mom's always told me, it's okay to speak the right words, though. Speak the right words into the universe. Many things happen on earth so much to where a lot of people don't believe and know that goodness could really sprinkle over this earth. Okay? But it could. Because I know and I do believe that what's happening right now could have a big shift. And yes, a lot of the negative energy may not leave off Earth, but a good percentage that need to leave off of Earth will leave off of Earth. And this is why I always say, every day that we all rise, no matter where you at, you could be in Afghanistan, you could be in Iran, you could be in Puerto Rico, you could be in the Dominican Republic, you could be in Trinidad, you could be in Jamaica, you could be in Cuba, you could be in Florida, you could be in Houston, you could be in New York, you could be in Pennsylvania, you could be in Delaware. When you rise, make sure you keep on rising and make sure you rise others. See, there's been a lot of ego tripping with humans. And this is why I say I study every day, because no, I'm not going to be perfect in my studies, but you know what? I'm going to be perfect in making sure that I keep on studying, making sure that I don't stop. And this is why I love to learn from other people and learn from other things in life, because if, I'm not going to put it that way, you may think that you know it all, but like we all know, when you think like that, that's when you know nothing at all, man. Like, when you actually think that you hit your head on the ceiling and think that you know more than everybody, or you got it all figured out, like, this is where, like, God and the universe will hit you down, and you will hit. You will see what they call, what? A downfall. And life will humble you. Don't care how much money you got. Don't care how much materialistic things you got. Life will humble you. You know, because I will tell you a little story about myself. And this is one of the best lessons that I probably got from the universe, and God. Because growing up in the South Bronx, walking as a little kid in certain neighborhoods, and just in any neighborhood, but the South Bronx, a lot of times in my mental mind, and the God within me, I know that now fully, but this is a different type of ego that I had inside of me as a young kid, and I wouldn't say I hit rock bottom, but God in the universe showed me something different, because I did walk with my head up high. I did feel that I was untouchable. I did feel that, even though it's somewhat true, but, please forgive me, Jah, for saying this right now, that you do something to me, it wasn't the correct thing to do. Because it would be consequences of you doing something to me as a human being. And that's not something to glorify or something that anybody should be proud of, but respect is respect. And for a lot of people that throw things out there in certain ways, that's how they throw things out there. But I would just always say this: got a lot of people in this world that love me, and I love them as well, and I would always love them. And I always tell, how in the movie The Departed, he said, that's the person that you don't touch. Well, in this life that we live, in many different places, I'm a person that you don't touch. Not saying that people can't touch me and people never touch me in life, but it's not a good thing. Now, I remember growing up, in the South Bronx, as I said. Moved to Brooklyn, and I would say it wasn't like a world shock, because my mother and my godmother and my aunt, and I had family in Brooklyn, so me and my brother, as kids, we used to go to Brooklyn, and spend the weekend by our girl cousin's house, by our family house, so I will say Brownsville and Bed-Stuy, like I'm not going to just say like the whole Brooklyn, but we have family in Brownsville and Bed-Stuy, and we knew Brownsville and Bed-Stuy the best to our ability as kids, but when we moved there, see the difference in visiting something and living in something, It was cool as a kid, you go into Brooklyn, to visit for 3 days, Remember, the 2 days, from Friday to Sunday, Friday to Sunday, Friday afternoon when you finish school on Friday, you go in Brooklyn for the weekend until Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. And Monday is back in the Bronx to school. Now, when we moved to Brooklyn, how they say it was like a cultural shock, because Brooklyn and the Bronx, people may want to say it's similar, but it's nothing alike. Is you may have different. You may, excuse me for that too. You may have certain things that are similar, but no, they're not alike. And you could draw stuff down that's similar and different, but no, Brooklyn is Brooklyn and the Bronx is the Bronx. I remember like the first 3 years in Brooklyn. I'll be honest, it was rough, but you know what? That made me better. That made me. It put. I'm gonna say this. Brooklyn put the heart inside of my heart. You know, because yeah, sometimes in the Bronx, yeah, I was wearing my heart on my sleeve of thinking like, yeah, Delvin, you know. But I always tell my brother this, and it's real. Like when we moved and we lived in Brooklyn, Brooklyn brought that flavor. Like this shit different. This ain't the South Bronx, and I respect that. Cause us, if you could say you was tough like a hippopotamus or a rhino, I give it that respect. I would say Brooklyn gave me that gator skin, to where if you mix Bronx and Brooklyn together, I put it to you like this. It's a crazy combination, okay? It's a sick combination, and it opened my mind even more. Hold on, please. Yeah, excuse me for that. Hold on. Yeah, excuse me. Now, like the shock that it hit me with, as I say, like I thought that everything was gravy, and I ain't gonna lie. But Brooklyn made me sharper, made me more wise, and it made me tougher in many different ways. And I remember growing up in the Bronx and seeing a lot of different cultural things. But I remember when I moved to Brooklyn and seeing different cultural things that it blew my mind. it blew my mind because growing up around what they call African Americans or Black Americans or FBA or Caribbean people or Hispanic or Latino people, I've seen some of the best, seen some of the worst. But I will say overall, I seen the best that we could be in. To say that you seen the all, maybe that'll be jumping the line. You know, that'll be jumping the line because you may be hopeful to what you want to see, but you don't know it yet. You don't know it yet, and when I seen how, I'm gonna be real with you, I did have a somewhat vision of how big I thought Earth was being a kid in the Bronx. Because you can look at maps and all of that, and you can look at different books, and you can look at different places, you can look at stuff in the world. And it was all good, you know, being in elementary school of looking at certain things. But when I moved to Brooklyn, it was like everything was on a bigger scale of learning about the world. And I always give Brooklyn the props for that because I didn't know it would have been like that. You know, I didn't expect to see the world different like that. I thought I would have seen the world the way that I seen the world as a kid. And what you think and what's really going to happen in life, yeah, maybe sometimes many things that you think about, it may happen in life, but many times the things that we think about, it's not gonna happen. Because what's playing out in life, please people, please, and I'm talking to my spiritual people here and I'm talking to everybody, please don't think it may play out in real life. Yes, it may be in the mental mind, but don't think that it's going to play out. Because if it's not going to play out, it's not going to play out. It's just going to be there in the mind. And now you got a computer and you're on this page and you exit out. Well, that's how it will be. Hold on. That's how it will be. And that's where it comes to the point where you'll be playing with your own mind. And that right there could be a trap. And that could be a trap that you set for yourself. Of how they say your mind playing tricks on you, no. You will be playing tricks on yourself. And that's to the point where a lot of people don't like to take responsibility of what they're doing or what they've done. Here a lot of people are talking about they got drunk last night and they ain't know what they did, or they got drunk and they forgot what happened, or they are you serious? Are you serious? Like, and one thing I give my brother props to this. I'm not gonna respect, or I don't respect something that is gonna take my vehicle and control it more than I should control my vehicle. And when I mean by vehicle, I mean my body, my temple, whatever you want to call it. You could call it a dump truck or whatever. But you're not gonna make something that's like alcohol, drugs, or many different things control you. And some people will say, oh, you got no control. Well, you know what? Stop it. And this is why I said in the beginning of this live, when I said that we are all not the same, stop thinking that we are all the same. Because many people take things different. Some people don't. Some people handle things different. You know, but for us thinking that, oh, everybody gonna cry the same, or everybody gonna bleed the same, nah, no way. No way at all. Hold on 1 minute. No way at all. You know, and this is where I say sometimes, like, people they don't want to think. It's not that they don't think, they don't want to think. And you can't fault some human beings in this world, because you have to really understand that they don't got it. They don't got it. And that's why I said I give them the sad laugh, because it's not funny. It's not funny at all. Many times I stay quiet in this world because I watch certain things in this universe, and it's not worth your energy. It's not worth your energy. Because many people think they smart. Well, you could tell them how to spell smart, right? And they still wouldn't know how to spell smart. Hold on, let me read brother's comments. Hold up. Picking sides just makes us a part of the problem. Though we live in a cruel world, doesn't mean we gotta contribute to the cruelty. No, you don't, you know? It's worse when you know something is wrong and you don't care enough to right that wrong. And that's real. And that's a lot of adults that continue with the crazy nonsense. And you know you're wrong. It's going to catch up to you, though. I'm telling you. It's going to catch up to you. And when it catch up to you, that's when you may be at your least weakest, and it will hurt you. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, a line can only be crossed if somebody provides one in the sand, because I can't stand that word aloud. Man, I really can't. Oh, nah, I don't play with that for real, because I be, man, when people say that to me, God, please, no. I can't even get into that conversation. I'ma just keep it just like you say. For real, because, like, that word, 1, 2, 3, woosah. 1, 2, 3, woosah. Nah, it's just like See, I'm gonna say this, man, because people don't understand. It's certain. You see how in Captain America, what it was, Civil War, and damn, I'm trying to remember Bucky name, yo. What's his name? The Winter Soldier. Bucky name was the Winter Soldier. Now you see how I forgot the I'm trying to remember where the dudes is from that was commanding Bucky to be the Winter Soldier to do evil when he was there saying the code words to get Bucky to turn back into crazy Bucky. You know, the Winter Soldier. Now he there saying all of these crazy words. Next thing you know, when he say them crazy words, Bucky turned into assassin killer. You feel me? And Bucky don't like that silver arm, that metal vibranium slash with it. Let me see. What is it? No, that is not made with What is Bucky arm made of? If I'm correct, cause the new arm is supposed to be made of vibranium. Knock on wood. I don't want, see, that's my spirit helping me, but I'm forgetting what's the old one, cause Tony Stark's father was supposed to be the one that made the shield for Captain America, but I'm forgetting the metal that they made the shield from. That's where I gotta look that up. I'm forgetting the metal, but because I think that Shuri and them, out of the new arm that Bucky got from Shuri in Wakanda, that one is made of vibranium. Okay, but I have to remember the metal that Captain America's shield is made of. Okay. We got rights and a voice, and it's necessity to use silence is power to an extent, but silence sometimes gets no results. Well, yeah, like if you be quiet to a situation that's very powerful, you're not going to get no results. You're going to get the same results that you had from before. The same thing. If we can't exchange knowledge where we both benefit, the conversation ain't worth shit in my humble opinion. And that, you see that right there? Now that right there, I love that. And that's for real. That's for real. That's why I'm going to be open to listen. If open-minded hitting me with something, Marlene hitting me with something, Proud hitting me with something, Tina Marie hitting me with something, I'm open to listen to any one of y'all. I ain't got no ego of saying like, yeah, I don't think, nah, man. Like, listening is very important in living. For real. I'm gonna keep that. As I said, if I saying facts, I ain't saying shit. Wait, hold on. As I said, if I ain't saying facts, I ain't saying shit. I guess that's what he meant to say. Excuse me. Okay, the history someone else write isn't our history. And, well, no way, because I ain't gonna lie, shit get me mad. Woosah, woosah, woosah. I don't know how people think that it's okay to just rearrange somebody's history and somebody is supposed to be okay with it. And then when people speak about their history being rearranged, you got other people thinking that these people is stupid. And then you have certain things of talking about, I tell you, and this is why I say the history that people are taught, it's not so simple. And that's why I don't care when I talk about black people history, because black people history is world history. Okay? The ones disrespecting our diaspora writing our history, F That ain't it. Can't nobody who don't ID with us write our history, nor can they relate, because our stories aren't parallel. And that's why, and I'm learning, cuz I'm still on my learning part too. As I say, I don't play with our history cuz it ain't a joke, and for the people that think it's a joke, you know, whatever. Whatever. Once people stop trying to seem superior to one another, bro, we're not gonna get far. You're right. I don't like that allow shit because it's like people telling you what they're gonna let you do, and they ain't letting us or allowing us to do shit because we got freedom of choice. Hydra. Yeah, Hydra, it was made of adamantium. Adamantium, and if is that the same thing from Wolverine, damn, Wolverine claws, adamantium. If I'm correct, Wolverine claws was made of adamantium, and I'm trying to remember who was the dude that did that to Wolverine. I think his name was William Stryker, if I'm correct. I know his last name is Stryker. And that was the special team that he had him and Sabretooth on. You know what's the crazy thing when I think about that? I gotta look this up too, because I do love my X-Men, and I do love my Marvel and DC, but this is something that I just thought about all the time. I've been watching X-Men and Marvel. I never knew Sabretooth's real name. I never knew Sabretooth's real name. Nah, Nightcrawler, that dude, man. Shoot, I'm trying to remember Nightcrawler. They had him in one of the video games for the X-Men video game. I'm trying to think of it. It was for Super Nintendo, but I can't remember the X-Men video game for Super Nintendo. And I'm trying to remember because they had one for because they had Nightcrawler. He was in a PlayStation X-Men game too, but Nightcrawler was cool. For real. I'm trying to remember the what is it? I think was it X-Men Last Stand that they had Nightcrawler when he tried to assassinate the president in that one. But damn, I'm really going back into my Marvel joint right now. I'm trying to remember, was that X-Men Last Stand in the beginning of the movie when Nightcrawler tried to, let me see, hold on, I'm trying to go back. Oh, it was X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Okay, bro, the 1990. Nah, man, I was there. Okay, X-Men 2. X-Men 2 United movie. Okay, so it's not X-Men it's not on the X-Men Last Stand, X-Men 2. I gotta watch that later on when I get home, for real. No, and to be honest with you, I know that this is sidebar, people, but I'm sorry, I like my X-Men and I like my DC and Marvel. Like the old Fox X-Men, I can't disrespect them because I do like it, I do like the movies, but I'm waiting to see what, they do with the new X-Men in this generation right now, because I am very excited to see X-Men, like watching, what is it, Wolverine and Deadpool. That was cool, but I want to see the whole team, I want to see everybody. It was cool seeing Gambit, You know, I think I seen Psylocke in that one Wolverine. Cassandra Nova. Who else? The Juggernaut. You know. But I want to see the whole team. I want to see Cyclops. I want to see Storm. You know, I want to see Beast. I want to see them all together, like the whole team together. You know, oh, even Colossus and Iceman. Come, like on the low. Let me tell you something. On the low, me and my brother used to argue about this when we was kids, and I remember he used to correct me because when I was kids, I used to think that in my mind that Wolverine was the unsung leader, even though Cyclops was the captain and the leader. Every time I used to watch X-Men on Fox, I used to still, you know, I'm like, Wolverine is the leader, you feel me? But, I still give respect, though, to Cyclops, because he was, you know, that's the captain, that's the leader. But I just, like, I always remember as a kid, I used to argue with everybody that we used to watch X-Men. I'm like, Wolverine leader, and, like, people arguing with me because we used to watch X-Men on Saturday, you know, and that was, to me, X-Men and G.I. Joe, when I was a kid, those was, you couldn't tell me nothing about X-Men and G.I. Joe, for real. When X-Men and G.I. Joe was playing, yo, you better be quiet. Because, like, it was so serious, right, that we had TV in the living room, in our room, and my mom's in the room, right? But sometimes me and my brother used to go to watch X-Men in the living room, you know, because, I don't know, man, like, life was different back then, you know, it was different, and this is why I always tell people, hold on to your good memories, and don't let them go, okay? Don't let them go, because as I told you of moving from Brooklyn to the Bronx, I can't never let that go. And you know what? I will never let that go, because growing up in Brooklyn in the Bronx is a part of me forever, and is what made me, you know, because yes, I have Caribbean parents, but I always used to tell people, whether they like it or not, Brooklyn and Bronx was our island, you know? Okay. Well, Magneto, my boy, too, man. Like, Magnus, like, that's, like, because I can't really, like, some people always, and that used to be another argument, because I used to love to argue about my Marvel and my DC, but, like, Magneto, he's that anti-hero, man. Like, I used to just always say it, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Magneto is misunderstood, okay? He's like, and people may get mad at this in the comic book world, but I will say this. Two of the most misunderstood characters, and people will want to put Thanos in there as third, but Magneto and Doctor Doom is two misunderstood characters, okay? And I always got it with them two, you know, like, even though people consider them as villains, I always got where they was going and what they wanted, you know, because Doctor Doom, nobody don't want to hear nothing about Doctor Doom, but you know what? Hands down, Doctor Doom is one of the smartest characters in DC or Marvel. You know, like, people are, and the thing is, right, I love to always argue about this too. People that say who's smarter, Reed Richards or Doctor Doom. I'm going to always keep that up in the air. You feel me? I'm going to always keep, because my crazy self, I would always say 60-40 with Reed Richards, because, like, I love the Fantastic Four, but then after that, it's like, come on, this is Doctor Doom. Like, like Doctor Doom is like, he's confident smart, because he know he could do it, you know, and he don't He don't believe in failing, you know? And like Dr. Doom, if he fail, it's like crazy. Hold on, please. Sorry about that, excuse me. Yeah, no, but like Dr. Doom, cause I know nowadays, as I said a little while ago, a lot of people will pick Thanos, but I'll say like this: Thanos was outsmarted by Tony, you know, in Avengers Endgame. You know, he was outsmarted by Tony, and like, wow, see. I like when it comes to Marvel and DC too. I always tell people like I like to look for the intelligent people, you know, and what is it? We got off of the back. What is it? We got from Marvel. Always used to say that Tony and Shuri and Reed Richards. You know, that's the top three. And then when we go in DC, like straight off the back, you gotta say, if I'm correct, it's Mr. Terrific, Batman, and who else in DC? Let me see. You got Batman and Mr. Terrific. And I'm missing somebody that I used to always like too, that was a smart person in DC. No, Thanos, let me tell you something. I forgot the original Thanos. Thanos was like Thanos was like no holds barred, man. Let me tell you. When you first seen Thanos and the what was his crew name? The Black something crew? Like they was sick. They was sick. Hold on, let me read the brother's comments, man. Deadpool, Deadshot. Oh, I gotta go with. See now. Let me see. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna be real. Deadpool is funny, and he is an assassin, and he is with it. Deadpool is sick with it. Deadshot, he is a what's the name? He is an accurate shot. You know, he is bullseye with it, you know? But I gotta go with Deathstroke. For real. Like, he is like no holds bar. Like, even though all three of them are killers, it's like Deathstroke ain't holding nothing back, yo. Like, he is like, he gonna kill you. You know, like, even though as we know, Deadshot, he's a killer too, a marksman. You know, Deadpool, we know how he is. But like, Deathstroke, he ain't got no game inside of him, and he not joking, he not playing. Like, he is straight killing you. Okay. My favorite villains more than heroes, Magneto and Apocalypse, my favorite. You know, I always like, I'm gonna be real, when I was a kid, I didn't like Apocalypse in the cartoon. And the reason why I didn't like him in the cartoon is because I was on Professor X and the X-Men side, right? But check this out. When I got older, that's when I start respecting Apocalypse power and saying, yo, Apocalypse ain't no easy kitchen bag. You feel me? Apocalypse ain't no easy kitchen bag when it comes to the X-Men villains. You know, and his backstory of what they did in what's that? I'm trying to remember the movie with the Apocalypse movie. What they showed of his backstory, it's kind of sad, you know. And I have a heart for it. Yeah, I will pick Deathstroke. Magneto fought for mutant survival and sovereignty to ensure a genocide like the one he experienced never happened again. That's what made him dope. But he is polarizing character. He is a polarizing character. Excuse me for messing up your energy like that. I gotta mention my guy Thanos. Nah, Thanos is a beast, man. And to be, I don't. Well, and this is why, let me tell you, they say Thanos is a beast, and this is why I like this conversation of in Marvel of the villains, cause Thanos, he effed them up. Okay, Thanos effed them up, the Avengers up. And I told my brother and many other people, Dr. Doom got to do worse than Thanos. Cause check this out, Thanos wiped half of the world away. Okay. Dr. Doom got to show something much better, okay? Because I don't care what you say in watching all of these Marvel and DC movies, what Thanos did, that's high level stuff right there, okay? He wiped half of the world away. And I was there, I said, okay. That's big. Okay, so Dr. Doom and Doomsday coming up in December 18th, and I'm waiting on that movie. But waiting on Spider-Man that come out in July this month on the 31st, if I'm totally correct. And I think I'm correct, but I'll post it up on my community wall when I get the date. But I think I am correct, the 31st. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but with that Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos was beast. And no, he was like, he's strong without the Infinity Gauntlet, right? And then the Infinity Gauntlet made him like on some God tier joint where he knew how to use. And you know what the thing is, right? I like what Thanos did when he destroyed it. See, a lot of people got mad, right? And the only reason I was a little bit mad because he killed my girl Black Widow, you know, like, nah, man, I ain't want Black Widow to die, you know, like, even though she sacrificed herself jumping off the cliff, you know, like, Thanos did all of this, you know, and I don't know, I wouldn't hit, I'm, like, damn, I'm forgetting his name, Clint. I wouldn't have want none of them to die, but like, what? That's the Soul Stone, so somebody had to die. Like when Thanos, you know, grimy, what is it? He threw Gamora and sacrificed her. You know, I was like, that was crazy. And they said, you know, like to sacrifice somebody you love, and like it was open, cause like Gamora said, you don't love nobody, and people was there thinking like Thanos was cold-blooded, but it showed you in the Soul Stone when he went there, and Red Skull was telling him, it showed you that he did actually love Gamora, you know, probably in his own greedy way, but he did, because if he didn't love her, she wouldn't be able to be sacrificed, and he wouldn't be able to get that stone. So he did love her. And I love writing like that in movies, you know, like when people write stuff like that in movies, those are the type of things that I love in movies, because certain people look at scenes like that of the beginning of it before he sacrificed her, when Gamora said, you don't love nobody, she seemed different, you know, and it's for you to see it, and it's for the writers to write it out for us to see. Okay. Captain America, hold on. Captain America Civil War was my favorite. All of them fighting on the scenes of Smash Bros shit. Nah, Captain America Civil War. The reason why I like Civil War too with a lot of the with End Games and Infinity War, I I like seeing all of the characters that I used to watch on cartoons when I was a kid. You know, so like when I see Thanos in real life on a movie screen, it was good. You know, because I watched him in comic books. When you see Hulk, it's good because you watched him in comic books. Deadpool, Batman. It's good to see them because we watched them in comic books as a kid and we read. I tell people, and this is what makes it so good. Because you watch these people in comic books and you seen the cartoons, and in the 90s, yeah, we had, what is it, I can remember The Flash, that joint, that little corny movie that they had, and what is it, I think I ain't gonna call it corny, but it was somewhat corny, that Wonder Woman they had back then. They had Bionic Woman. That was somewhat like, that was a corny Wonder Woman, but we still watched Bionic Woman when we was kids. You know, and I'm trying to remember. Batman, you had, what is it? I'm trying to remember the Batman animated, the cartoon one. You know, that was legendary. You know, and, I'm trying to remember the one that he did after Batman got old with that young boy, the young boy that did I would call it like the new Batman when Batman got old. I forgot. And that was kind of good too, you know, like when Batman gave the mantle to that little young boy, but I forgot the little young boy name, man. The Black Order. Thank you very much, man. Yes. Ooh, Red Skull and Punisher for me. Now I like Punisher, man. For real. I remember we used to argue about Punisher ain't got no powers too, but I said I bet you he'll kill you. For real. What you mean? Punisher, Joker ain't had no powers when we was kids, but Joker still was the Joker. Okay, like ain't none of these little like. And it may sound bad, right? But Joker killed Robin. Okay? Come on. Cable versus Colossus. And, yo, Cable, he's one of my... I gotta be honest, too. Cable, I'ma call him an anti-villain. Okay? Because Cable good and bad. For real. I'm not gonna say Cable good, and I'm not gonna say he bad. Cable good and bad. Avengers Doomsday is gonna be solid. Bro, I tell you like this, man. I think I've been waiting for this movie to come out for like a good 13 months. Just like I remember when I was waiting for Mortal Kombat, the reboot part 2 to come out for 9 months. And this is a little random, and I'm not going to be mad. I'm not mad at Mortal Kombat 2, but I'm going to get back to this joint. I do like Mortal Kombat 2, but to be honest with you, a lot of people don't like part 1, but we have to like part 1 in order to get to part 2. That's all I'm going to say about that for right now. I be rooting for the villains too, you know, depending on who they are, because they have, I'm going to say like this as a human being. They got something to say, and they are, see, the outlook of the superhero, right, is to quote unquote save the day, right? And the superhero is always defending, what is it, America and different stuff. But I'm going to say like this. If we get back into history, right, of superheroes and stuff, right? And we be real, excuse me, I'm just trying to heat up my coffee. we know we see a lot of officers, a lot of detectives, and a lot of different people. In the real world, it's just like the cartoon world, okay? If you think that some of these officers and law enforcement is not bad in the cartoons too, just because they write the cartoon and make the officers and the superheroes look good, because it's just like, for example, I always say, even though Superman is my favorite, him and, hold on, Superman and Black Panther are my favorite characters, you know. And if I would have to go like to 3 and 4, I would have to say like Iron Man and Captain America, you know. But if you want me to take it to a fifth one, you gotta add the Dark Knight, Batman, you know, because I could keep on going with this, but those would be the 5 that I named, you know, of my favorite characters in DC/Marvel. Okay. Tony and Black Widow went out like G's for the team. Now, Tony, let me tell you, man, as a Marvel lover, like, Tony went out like a G, man. But I remember I wasn't happy with it, you know. But Tony sacrificed himself for everybody, so it's like I get that up, you know. And like he said, he had nightmares and dreams about Thanos. And if everybody know Tony from all the movies, that he always wanted to, what did he say? He wanted to make a shield around the world. Joker and Black Mask were fire. Black Mask, yeah, Black Mask is tough. Nah, Joker, people better start putting some respect on Joker name, man. Just because he ain't got no power, Joker is very intelligent, you know? Like, and I will say this, Batman is probably the only one that could stand up to him, you know? Because even my boy, I love, like, damn, how could I forget about my boy too, though, man? Like, old school, and I don't care, from DC to Marvel. One of my favorite characters, and this is like, you know, from DC and Marvel, like, between, what's my boy name? Nightwing. Hold on. I'm gonna curse this dude out. Hold on, I have a job emergency. I'll be back.